Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, and you must, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. This watch requires both more and less explanation than I normally devote to a watch. Less in the sense that everything that makes this Audemars Piguet pocket watch appealing is self-evident to your eyes. Nothing is an occultation, nothing needs to be teased out. It is skeletonized, hand-decorated, and fully engraved. It is set with diamonds and rubies around its perimeter, and it is made of noble gold. But a little bit of context about its period of manufacture and what are you looking at mechanically beyond the aesthetics? That's where I need to do some explanation. So there are a couple of different ways to understand this model. Of course, its original reference would have been 5729 BA, but the thing is, from 1984 to 1985, Audemars Piguet transitioned to 5-digit reference numbers, and so you can see this became the 35729. Now the watch is made of gold and 45 millimeters in diameter if you measure from side to side, but it is only 4.7 millimeters thick because it uses a Frédéric Piguet 152 based Audemars Piguet caliber 5020 that was first adopted in 1979 by AP and very seldom rolled out. AP itself estimates it only made 1,000 of these movements in every application, both wrist and pocket watch, from 1979 to 1995. So you're looking at a rarity just on the basis of the movement within. Now this movement is ultra thin. The watch may be 4.7 millimeters thick, and let's just keep everything straight. This is the front of it. But the movement is only 1.9 millimeters thick. It is truly ultra thin. And these bridges, skeletonized and ultra thin, are so specialized that when a watch like this goes back to the factory, the bridges are cleaned by hand rather than put through a cleaning machine. The movement, though, is broad because it is pocket watch oriented. It has a diameter of 35.6 millimeters, so it fills this pocket watch. And you could see the open barrel, one of the features that allows this movement to be so thin. You could see the steel keyless works, the clutch spring, winding setting, minute wheel, hour wheel, minute wheel pinion. You could see the hands, blackened foy or leaf style hands right here. It's a 20 joule movement. It's a 3 hertz beat rate. Surprising. I expected it would be 18,000 vibrations per hour like most pocket watches. It is actually 21,600 vibrations per hour, and it's got a respectable power reserve in spite of the large balance of 42 hours, of course, manually wound. Now, when you wind this watch, you basically see everything, right down to the mainspring coiling around the barrel arbor at center. That's how you can see that it is gaining mainspring wind. It coils from the wall of the barrel to the arbor at center. So that's how that works. Now you can also activate the setting functions, and you can see that every piece of the keyless works has been decorated. So parts that are normally unseen on a watch here have been treated for beauty with satination and beveling. All screw heads are polished here. You could see that the first thing they did was that they skeletonized the parts, and then they're internally beveled, which you can see well here. They're externally beveled, and there are too many sharp interior angles where bevels meet for me to even count. This is the AP I love, and the AP that is almost extinct today. Now, the 20 joule movement is also, though ultra thin and ornamental, designed to be a respectable timekeeper. As you can see at the bottom, Audemars Piguet treated this for heat, cold, isochronism, and 5 positions as though it were a chronometer. Deeply impressive stuff. Now, in terms of when it was made, this is a serial number 243901 that corresponds roughly to the early 1980s. But that's the movement serial number. The movement might have been made before the watch itself. So keep in mind that AP serials, according to Audemars Piguet itself, in 1980 they were around 220,000, and by 1989 the movement serials were at about 350,000. Now what I believe, because this watch comes with an indication that it was at least retailed in the 5-digit serial era, I'm going to go ahead and say that this movement is older than the watch, that it was built and prepared and then cased up sometime later. So it would have been an early 80s movement on a watch that was likely assembled and retailed in the mid-1980s, thus earning itself that little 3 rather than just 5729. It became 35729 by the time it made it to market. And you could see, using the alphanumeric with which most AP collectors are familiar, it would have been a B77000. So that gives you a good idea of when it was made. And let's get really close now so you can appreciate some of the details, because frankly, I don't need to explain. You can see what makes this watch extraordinary. Not just gem set, not just gold, not just skeletonized, but freehand engraved so that no two can be exactly alike. By the way, look at the solarization on the ratchet wheel atop the barrel. How beautiful is that? And they even put shock protection on the escape wheel. No water resistance, but then again, you wouldn't expect any with a pocket watch. This is incredible. Now, normally gems on a man's watch might be a little bit controversial, but this is not going to be man jewelry that you wear on your wrist. I think that's one of the reasons men don't like gems on a watch. It blurs the line between jewelry, which is not masculine in most cases, and watches, which are hyper-masculine. But on a wristwatch, gems make it even more of an objet d'art. And you can see the girdles formed manually using heat and hand tools to set these diamonds and these beautifully cut rubies. And unlike the rubies inside a watch, these rubies are the real thing, not synthetic. As good as it gets, automatically the star of any watch event you go to, no matter how priced the other timepieces. If you love watchmaking and you love bien facture, you love horlogerie, you want Holy Trinity street cred, this has all of that. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.